After months of lies, my wife confessed she was moving in with her ex, demanding I sell our house. "You're a pathetic failure. He's the love of my life," she hissed, tearing up our photos. "She's too good for you," her sister laughed. I signed the papers. Then my inbox exploded with 19 emails pleading for help as their plans unraveled. Hey everyone, before we dive in, I have a quick favor to ask. If you enjoy content like this, please hit the subscribe button. It's free, supports the channel, and ensures you never miss out on amazing videos. Alright, let's get started. I never thought I'd be sharing this here, but I need to get it off my chest. Using a throwaway for obvious reasons. I'm Warren, 33, and my wife Kira, 31, just blew up our 7-year marriage in the most brutal way possible. Looking back, the signs were there for months, but I was too caught up in our routine to see them clearly. It started with small things. Kira began working late, which wasn't unusual in her sales job, but then she changed all her phone passwords. She'd never done that before. We always had an open phone policy. When I mentioned it casually over dinner, she snapped that I was being controlling. That should have been my first real warning. Then came the spending. Our joint account started showing weird charges, expensive restaurants I'd never heard of, boutique shopping sprees, salon visits during work hours. When I brought it up, she'd brush it off with vague explanations about client meetings or treating herself because she deserved it. The real red flag was when she started going to the gym at odd hours. Not our regular gym, a fancy new place across town. She'd come home showered, hair done, wearing outfits I'd never seen before. Something felt off. But every time I tried to talk about it, she'd turn it around on me. "You're paranoid. You're suffocating me. I can't believe you don't trust me." Last week, everything exploded. I was fixing our kitchen sink when her phone buzzed on the counter. A message preview from Grant popped up. "Can't wait for tonight, baby. He still has no clue." My hands were shaking as I read it. Grant, her ex from before we met. The one she always said was just a good friend when he'd comment on her Instagram posts. I waited for her to come home. She walked in around 9 p.m., looking like she'd just stepped out of a photo shoot. When I showed her the message, her reaction floored me. No denial, no tears, just a cold, cruel laugh. "Well, I guess you're not as stupid as you look," she said, tossing her bag onto our couch. "Grant's successful now, partner at his firm. What are you? Still fixing things and dreaming about your little business ideas." I stood there, watching this stranger wearing my wife's face. She pulled out a folder from her bag. "I want you to sell the house. Grant and I are moving in together next month. His place is too small for us." "The house is in both our names," I said, keeping my voice steady. "I'm not selling." She actually rolled her eyes. "You can't afford the mortgage alone, Warren. Don't be pathetic. Sign the papers. Take your half and go rent somewhere cheap. It's what you're good at, settling for less." Then she went to our bedroom wall, ripping down our wedding photos. "You were always temporary," she hissed, tearing them up. "Grant's the love of my life. Always has been." The next day, her sister Winnie showed up unannounced. I used to think of her as family. "Kira told me everything," she said with this smug smile. "She's too good for you. Always was. Grant can give her the life she deserves. Just sign the papers and disappear." I stayed quiet, letting them think they'd broken me. Signed the initial paperwork for the house sale. Watched Kira's triumphant smile, but they don't know me. Not really. What they don't realize is that I've been watching, documenting, preparing, every suspicious charge, every cruel message, every manipulative move. While they were busy congratulating themselves, I was making my own plans. They think I'm some pathetic pushover who'll just roll over and take this. They're about to learn how wrong they are. I'll post updates as things unfold. Right now, I need to make some calls and set things in motion. Kira and Grant think they've won, but they have no idea what's coming. Edit. Thank you for all the support. To answer some common questions. Yes, I've already talked to a lawyer. No, we don't have kids. And yes, I'm doing okay. Not great, but focused. I'll update when I can, but things are about to get interesting. Edit 2. Since people are asking, this happened in a medium-sized city in the Midwest. Update 1. First, thank you for all the support on my last post. A lot has happened, and Kira has no idea what's coming. Remember how I mentioned I had been preparing? Here's what I've been up to. While Kira thought I was moping around the house these past months, I was actually documenting everything. Every late-night work meeting, every suspicious purchase, every nasty text from her and Winnie. I let them think I was clueless while I moved my pieces into position. Last week, I had coffee with Kira's parents. They've always treated me like a son, and I felt they deserved to hear the truth directly from me. I showed them the screenshots of Kira and Grant's conversations, the joint account statements showing thousands spent at hotels, and photos from my neighbor's doorbell camera catching their afternoon meetups at our house. Her mom broke down crying. Her dad just sat there staring at his coffee. "We raised her better than this," he kept saying. Then he dropped a bomb. Kira had borrowed $20,000 from them last month, claiming it was for our home renovation. They now know that money went to a deposit on a new place with Grant. Here's where it gets interesting. Remember how Kira kept pushing me to sign those house sale papers? Turns out Grant's big partner position isn't as solid as they pretended. His company's been losing clients, and he needed the money from our house sale to cover his own debts. I found this out through an old college buddy who works in the same industry. I let Kira think I was desperate to keep the house, playing right into her arrogance. Meanwhile, I've been in talks with a competing firm, the one that's been poaching Grant's clients. They offered me a position that puts me directly in competition with Grant's department. I start next week. But the real chess move? I've been recording all my conversations with Kira and Winnie, single-party consent state. Last night they came over to discuss the house sale. Their mask of civility slipped real quick when I mentioned wanting a fair split of assets. "You're lucky we're letting you walk away with anything," Winnie sneered. "My sister wasted 7 years with your pathetic ass," Kira jumped in. "Just sign the papers, Warren. Grant's friends are already laughing at how easy it was to push you out. Got it all on tape, including their detailed discussion of how they planned this months ago, waiting until I signed some loan papers that put more of our shared debt in my name. They have no idea I've already moved most of our joint savings into a separate account, all documented and legal through my lawyer, or that I've been compiling evidence of how Kira has been using company resources to help Grant poach clients for his firm. The best part? Grant doesn't know that Carmen, his secretary he's been secretly seeing on the side, just found out about Kira. Turns out he promised Carmen the same future he's dangling in front of my wife. That revelation is going to hit at just the right moment. This morning, Kira was still strutting around like she's won. She left a post-it on the fridge saying, "Pack your stuff by Friday." I smiled, took a photo of it, and added it to my file. I'm not playing the devastated husband they expect me to be. I'm not causing scenes or making threats. I'm just quietly moving my pieces into position. Tonight, Kira is going to a work dinner with Grant, obviously. When she comes home, she'll find the house empty. Not because I've moved out, but because I've moved everything of value to storage, including all the evidence of her affairs, financial manipulation, and the recordings that could torpedo both their careers. The real game starts tomorrow. I've got 19 emails ready to send, to her boss, Grant's partners, their mutual friends, everyone who needs to know the truth. But I'm not sending them yet. First, I want to watch them scramble as their perfect plan starts falling apart. For everyone asking, yes, I'm done being the nice guy. They wanted to play games? Let's play. Several people have asked about the loan papers. I mentioned, don't worry, I've got that covered. More details in my next update. Update 2, well read it. You wanted fireworks. The last 24 hours delivered enough drama to fill a reality TV season. Grab your popcorn. Remember those 19 emails I mentioned? I sent them yesterday morning. By noon, Kira's perfect little world was in flames. It started with a screaming phone call at 8 a.m. Kira had just arrived at work when her boss opened that email containing proof she'd been feeding confidential client information to Grant. Her hysterical voicemail, "What the hell did you do? They're calling a meeting about my ethical violations. Fix this now." I didn't respond. Instead, I watched my phone light up as the dominoes fell. 10 a.m. Grant's office got their email, including screenshots of him promising Carmen the same future he'd promised Kira. His response? He blocked Kira's number. Real Prince Charming there. 11 a.m. Winnie called, screaming that I'd ruined her reputation at work. Turns out her supervisors didn't appreciate learning about her using company time to help plan her sister's affair. "You pathetic, vengeful little man," she shrieked. "We should have destroyed you months ago." The best part came at lunch. Kira stormed into our house. She still had keys, face red, mascara running. "You absolute psycho," she screamed, throwing her purse at me. "I'm suspended pending investigation. Grant won't answer my calls. What did you send Carmen?" I sat there calmly, drinking my coffee. "Just the truth, Kira. Isn't that what you wanted? No more lies. They're saying I could face legal action over the client information." She was hyperventilating. "Now Grant says he never promised me anything. He's saying I misunderstood." "Funny how karma works," I said, pulling out my phone to record. Called it a hunch. That's when she lost it. Started throwing things, screaming about how I'd ruined everything, called me every name in the book. Then she tried to slap me, all caught on video. Perfect evidence for the restraining order I filed this morning. The real show started when Carmen showed up. Yeah, turns out she decided to confront Kira in person. Their screaming match in our driveway had the neighbors peeking through curtains. "He told me you were the desperate ex who wouldn't let go," Carmen yelled. "Showed me texts where you were begging him for attention." Kira's face went white. "He said what? I have the hotel receipts, the gifts. He promised we'd be together." "Yeah, show me these promises," Carmen sneered, waving her phone, "because I have a year's worth of messages about our future together, plus photos of him ring shopping last week." That's when Winnie arrived, trying to damage control. Bad timing. She walked right into Carmen, revealing that Grant had trash-talked both sisters to his office buddies for months. Called them useful idiots, helping him climb the corporate ladder. Kira crumpled onto our front steps, sobbing about true love and betrayal. Winnie tried comforting her, but Kira shoved her away. "You encouraged this. Said he was my soulmate." By evening, their parents had arrived. "Remember that $20,000 loan?" They're demanding immediate repayment. Kira's dad looked at her like she was a stranger. "We didn't raise you to be this person," he said quietly. That seemed to hit harder than all the screaming. The final blow, Grant sent Kira a formal message through his lawyer. "Cease all contact. Any shared property claims will be disputed." Real romantic. Now Kira's blowing up my phone, texts swinging between threats and begging. "We can fix this," followed by, "I'll make you pay for humiliating me." But here's the thing, I'm not done. Remember that house they wanted me to sell? Just got an offer way above asking price. Guess who's planning to accept it and pocket their share before they can contest anything? Winnie's trying to do damage control on social media, but the screenshots are already out there. Their friends are choosing sides. Most aren't choosing theirs. Tomorrow, I'm meeting with a real estate agent. After that, my lawyer has some interesting suggestions about our shared assets. They wanted to play games. Game over. Edit. Thanks for the awards. And yes, I kept receipts for everything. Every single thing. Finally, update. Remember me? The guy whose wife Kira tried to force into selling their house so she could move in with her soulmate Grant? Well, it's time for the final update, and trust me, karma hit them like a freight train. Let's start with today's entertainment. Kira showed up at my new apartment, mascara running, pounding on my door at 7 a.m. "Warren, please, we need to talk." Grant's engaged to Carmen. After everything, he proposed to her. I watched through my security camera as she had her meltdown in the hallway. My neighbor poked his head out, and she started screaming about how I ruined her life. Real classy. But let's back up. The last 3 months have been interesting. Remember that house they desperately wanted me to sell? Sold it, all right, for $40 above asking price. Kira tried contesting it, but since I had documentation of her affair and financial misconduct, her lawyer advised her to take the split and shut up. She needed that money badly. Turns out Grant had her paying for a lot of their romantic dinners and hotels. Speaking of Grant, his perfect life imploded spectacularly. Carmen didn't just leave him, she took half his clients with her. Turns out she'd been keeping records of his shady business practices. Now he's working at a much smaller firm, desperately trying to rebuild his reputation. But here's the real kicker. Remember Valeria, Grant's ex-business partner he screwed over years ago? We met at a local business networking event last month. She's brilliant, successful, and happened to have some interesting stories about Grant's past schemes. We're having dinner again tomorrow. Winnie's karma hit her too. She'd been bad-mouthing me to everyone who'd listen until someone leaked those recordings of her plotting with Kira to drain our accounts. Now she's persona non grata in our social circle. Last week she tried adding me on LinkedIn. Denied. With a screenshot of her "he's pathetic" text attached. Kira is living with her parents now. The look on her face when she saw me and Valeria at her favorite coffee shop? Priceless. She tried to make a scene, but Valeria just smiled and said, "Oh, is this your ex? The one Grant used to laugh about?" This morning's meltdown wasn't Kira's first attempt at reconciliation. 2 weeks ago, she sent a novel-length email about how she made a mistake and we could start fresh. I responded with a single screenshot. Her message to Grant about how I was just a stepping stone. Her parents still check in occasionally. Her dad called last week, wanted to know if I'd consider taking Kira back. "She's learned her lesson," he said. I played him the recording of Kira bragging about how she married me because I was safe while she waited for Grant to make it big. The local rumor mill is working overtime. Apparently Grant and Carmen's engagement party was quite the show. Kira crashed it, threw a drink in his face, called Carmen some choice names. Security escorted her out while she screamed about promised futures and wasted years. But the best part, I'm thriving. That new job I mentioned? Already got promoted. Bought a nice apartment in that upscale complex Kira always wanted to live in. Joined a rock climbing gym where I met some great new friends who know nothing about my past drama. Valeria and I are taking things slow, but it's nice being with someone who values honesty and actually pulls their own weight in a relationship. Plus, watching Kira's face turn purple when she saw us together at the grocery store? Chef's kiss. Yesterday, Winnie tried to warn Valeria about me being vengeful and unstable. Valeria just pulled up those leaked screenshots of Winnie plotting to help Kira empty our accounts. "Seems like he's just good at exposing liars," she said. Haven't heard from Winnie since. So here we are. Kira's single and living with her parents. Grant's engaged to the woman he was cheating on her with. Winnie's lost most of her friends. And me? I'm doing better than ever. Edit, since people are asking, yes, I have security cameras now. No, I don't respond to messages. Yes, Valeria knows the whole story. Like today's story? A super thanks. Helps me keep bringing you the best daily content. Your support means I can keep doing what I love. Thanks for being awesome.